What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we're going to be setting up the brand new Fancy Goldfish tank, getting it all ready and showing you all about the filtration and how we're going to run the tank. So make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. As always, check out those links in the description. Today we're going to be setting up the brand new Fancy Goldfish tank and getting it ready for the next episode where we will be talking about cycling it and getting it ready for fish. You may notice right above the monster tank we've actually moved the picture so the tank can go right against the wall. I'm going to head over to the other side of the room, talk you through what the next steps are and how we can continue the process into getting this tank ready for the goldfish. So catch you in a second.
One eternity later.
As you may notice, we have now got the glass tank onto the cabinet and it fits really well. It is the exact width of the cabinet and it's nearly the length as well. It's got a really nice viewing height, so you can see it from this sofa, from that sofa, and then also when you stand up, it creates quite a nice height to be able to look at the goldfish. So the tank glass is quite dirty, so I'm gonna have to give that a clean. The next step is to apply the black background. So I'm gonna apply the vinyl to the background here. I have done a step-to-step or step-by-step tutorial on applying a vinyl background to your aquarium. So if you wanna check that one out, that will be in the Back to Basics series. But I'm gonna whip that vinyl on the back, and then also I'm gonna apply some black tape just to the top. This will hide the rim, it will also hide the water level and any scum marks that might collect on the surface or any potential calcium buildup or limescale, etc. So I'm gonna get both of those on and that will really transform the tank. Now a few of you may be thinking that tank is quite dangerously placed on this stand because it might not have full support, and yes, you are correct. We are going to be putting a thick yoga mat underneath this tank so the weight is spread evenly and any imperfections in the wood will be displaced throughout the tank. Now looking down at the tank underneath, it sits really well on this wood anyway, but I've ordered a really thick, ultra heavy duty yoga mat that is going to displace that weight nice and evenly. Now a lot of people will use polystyrene, and the monster fish tank behind you guys there is on about 25mm 1-inch polystyrene. However, for a tank like this where the base is exposed, I prefer to go for a yoga mat as it will compress under the tank's weight and it doesn't look too unsightly. Now it will create also a black background for the bottom of the tank, so if you are going bare bottom, this also creates quite a nice bottom colour before any hair algae or any green algae starts to grow on the bottom of your tank. So right now I'm going to get that black background on and also going to get the black tape on the top, and then we can speak about the next steps and what are the next steps to set up this tank and get it ready for fish. So I'm going to crack on with that now and I will catch you in a minute. As you may have noticed, the background didn't go on so well and unfortunately it doesn't look quite as good as I hoped it to. Now I think this was just down to the quality of vinyl. It was quite cheap vinyl and it didn't really apply very well. It kept creasing up in comparison to the vinyl that I used on the monster fish tank. That was quite a lot easier to apply. But it looks okay, and once it's full of water and got some green hair algae on it, we won't really notice. I could have painted it, that would have probably given it a better aesthetic look, but I'm happy with the vinyl. It's not going to be too much of a problem. And then, as you may have noticed, the black tape went on really well, so much easier, and it just gives it a really nice overall finish. When the waterline is up here, you won't notice the difference between the rim and the waterline, and as I said before, it hides the bracing, which is quite nice, and I think it just gives it a nicer finished look. So next up, we're going to look at the filtration and what kind of filtration system I'm going to put on the tank, and I'll talk you a bit through the media and how I'm going to set that up, and then I will get that rigged up onto the tank and in position. So I'm going to get on with that now, and I'm going to head back to the sofa and show you what filtration we've got for the tank. So for filtration, first of all, I've opted to go for the EF2 booster. Now you may have seen this when I previously had my Ranchu tank set up, and I really liked it. It worked well, it was quite noisy, and that was the only downside to it. But obviously this is going to be in an enclosed cabinet, so I'm hoping that the combination of this and the canister filter won't make too much noise. So that is the original mechanical filtration. If I just open it up quickly, you already should know what's inside here if you watch the other videos, but it's just got 3 sponges. So it's got a fine, a medium and a coarse sponge. So the water comes up through the bottom, goes through the fine, medium, and then just the coarse sponge. So they just look like that, really simple. And then that is mechanically filtered. I may add some filter fleece in there as well, just to polish the water off. And then once the water has gone through that, then it's going to go into the EF filter, or the EFX I should say. This is really heavy. This is the EFX 2000, so it is 2000 litres per hour. I've got 4 media baskets inside this, just filled with random different biological media. So if I just remove the head here. So first up, in the top basket, which is the last basket, these aren't ordered in any specific order, but I've just got lots of big ceramic rings in here. Then in the next one, I've got loads of little ceramic rings. These probably weigh a couple of kilos each. And then there's just loads more ceramic rings like this in the bottom 2 baskets as well. So I reckon there's probably 6 to 8 kilos of filter media in there. So there's absolutely plenty for the number of fish we're going to be stocking this tank with. So I will just pop the lid back on there. So nice and easy maintenance, just need to clean that EFX booster out every week or every couple of weeks, and then just keep up with lots of water changes. So that is the filtration. Just gonna put that to the side. Now I haven't got a heater on this setup, and I plan to not run a heater on this setup. I generally in the past ran heaters, but I want to try something a bit different and see how the goldfish develop and grow without a heater, just keeping it at room temperature. Now obviously there are many different methods to keeping fancy goldfish, as I've said previously, and I just want to try a different method to that. We're also going to be cycling it in a different way as well in comparison to the pond. If you didn't see those episodes, I did 5 or 6 episodes on starting up the brand new pond and how I went to cycle that without any fish in there, but we're going to be doing a completely different method on this tank. So right now I'm going to set up the filter, I'm going to get it all hooked up, show you how I do that. Pretty self-explanatory, but I will hook that all up now and then we can get on to the next step. So now you see we've got the black background on, we've got the tape on the top. I've also hooked up all the filters. You can just see behind here, I've got the spray bar on and the filter inlet as well. So into the cupboard, I'll just show you how the filter is set up. So, sorry it's going to be quite dark in this cupboard, I need to fit a light in here. So first of all, we've got the extension lead, which is got some double-sided sticky Velcro just to hold it in place. Then we've got the EFX filter and the EF2 filter booster. So the water comes in to the bottom of the booster, up through it, into the canister filter, and then out to the back of the tank. I've also got some air lines, so I'm going to hook up an air pump. As you can see, I've got two aerators, or two air stones, so to say, with the black airline. I chose to go with the black airline because it really matches in with the background and it helps keep the tank looking nice and clean, rather than using something like a blue or a clear that's going to look really green once the algae starts to form. So I've got that all set up now. So the last thing we need to do in this episode is put the yoga mat under the tank. And the yoga mat I've got just here. So this is about 1.8 meters long by 61 centimeters wide. It's a really heavy duty mat, so it's 6 mil thick and it's really spongy. So I'm gonna get that underneath the tank so it levels out any imperfections in the stand. And then the remainder is gonna go on the bottom of the cabinet just to neaten it up, hide all that excess spray paint, and also help dampen any noise from the filter. So I'm gonna get on with that now, and then I'm gonna show you the final product and we can wrap up the video. Here we have it. I finally managed to get the black yoga mat underneath the tank, and also you'll be able to see in the cupboard down here, I also managed to get the remainder of that yoga mat onto the bottom of the cabinet, which hides any leftover spray paint really nicely, and it also provides a little bit of soundproofing from the filter as well, so that is an added bonus. So now the tank setup is complete. We've got everything on there I want to. In the next video, we're gonna be going through how I'm gonna cycle this tank, if I'm gonna leave it bare bottom, or maybe I might have some substrate to add in. I'm not gonna be adding any ornaments, any decorations, etc. But maybe that is something to think about in the future. Maybe we could add some of the river stones again, potentially. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I can't wait to get this full of water. Next video is going to be full of water, and I'm going to be speaking to you about the cycle, as I mentioned. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope maybe it gave some of you guys some inspiration to set up another tank. So as always, thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.